architects, barbers, even cosmetologists, entrepreneurship and knowledge, bringing all of this.
Welcome to Beyond the Chairs podcast. My name is Ericka Chancellor, your host, and today we have Ruben Micheal. And welcome, Ruben.
Hello, how you doing?
Welcome to Beyond the Chairs. Good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Good. You were a participant in 2 years of our Beyond the Chairs event.
2 years, yeah.
Yes, how did you enjoy it?
I thought it was exciting, educational, and necessary.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. We got to come together as hairstylists and try to organize and be on the same page.
I think it's important.
Yes, definitely. Okay, Ruben, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Ruben Micheal McCain. Been doing hair for, I would say, 30-something years.
Okay. 30-something years, y'all? Mm-hmm. Longer than some of y'all are.
Started when I was 22, and I'm in my 50s now, so. Yeah.
Okay, and looking good, I must say.
I am an educator and a salon owner. I really enjoy the business, and even though I've been doing hair for that period of time, I still feel that it's important to educate myself, so I still take classes.
Good. Yeah. See, y'all hear that? Mm-hmm. Even after you've been in the business, there's still some things that you need to learn. Right?
I think so.
Plus, there's a lot of stuff, technology that's always being invented that, we got to stay up on that.
Constantly.
Yes, definitely. The coronavirus.
Oh, boy.
I know everybody's just like fed up to hear about the coronavirus and the things that we've been having to go through as far as that. How has that affected your business? Or has it?
Tremendously. Initially, when they shut down the salons and the barbershops, they said it would be 2 weeks. So I figured 2 weeks, I'll take a little vacation, I'll be all right. 2 weeks turned into 30 days, 30 days turned into 60, and 60 for some reason has turned into forever. I think with the shutdown, I'm all for us being positive, I'm all for us being helpful to one another and staying safe, and I'm all for the government doing what they have to do to make sure that they keep the communities safe.
Right.
However, the issue that I have is when you shut down a person's livelihood, I think you need to put a viable tool in place to make sure that that person doesn't lose their possessions, doesn't lose their home, their business. And what the government did is they shut us down without an alternate plan.
Yes.
And I find that that's something that's really difficult to deal with. So what I find happening is a lot of people are working undercover because they gotta eat.
Exactly. They don't understand. They're not telling you not to go and shop. Mm-hmm. They're telling you not to eat, not to feed, not to pay your bills, to possibly lose your housing.
Right.
All that stuff. And I don't know how to compute that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I called the mayor's office, I called the governor's office, I talked to them. I talked to a young lady and I told her, and I just acted like I was a booth renter. I said, look, I work in a barbershop. The guy that owns the barbershop closed it down. I have no way to take care of my bills. I feel like I'm getting ready to lose my housing and my car. And her answer to me, her response was, well, what I can do is send you a list of government housing so that you...
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
So I said, well,
so in other
I'm
words,
not going to tell you what I said, but I just ended up hanging up the phone because they didn't care. And when I realized they didn't care, then I had to take measures into my own
alternative
hands.
measures, right?
So what I do, and what I don't think the government realizes, is that we as professional hairstylists, we have a mandate anyway. We have to make sure that our clients are protected.
Yes.
We have to disinfect. We have to sanitize between every client.
Yes.
So the only additional thing that we really had to add was the mask and the social distancing.
Yes.
And once we did that, I think it made it safe for clients to come in and get their hair done, or get their haircuts, or what have you. And we made sure that everything we did was to ensure the client's health.
Right.
You know, and still give them what they needed.
Exactly. I think a lot of people don't understand that cosmetology was under the medical board.
Right. Right.
They were under the medical board.
Right.
So that means that the things that we were doing are the same things that doctors, the same thing that nurses, the same thing that people that take care of other human beings do.
Right. Exactly.
We were already in compliance with that.
Exactly.
So to shut us down, it's more than just that, I believe. They finally found a place to like target certain people that they feel are not paying taxes, that are not being truthful or having integrity when it comes to their businesses.
Right.
And that is not the case, y'all. We out here paying taxes, we own homes, we have cars, we have families. We are trying to do things the way that this society requires, but we still are not getting the proper representation when it comes to that.
Right. And I think what they actually do is they group individuals or businesses together that really don't necessarily fall into that category.
Yes.
You can't put a hair salon or a barbershop in the same category as a gym.
As a gym.
You know,
Yes.
even nail salons are set aside. Those are different than hair salons and
and
barbershops.
barbershops. Yes, they are.
You know, even though the requirements are the same, we as individuals carry ourselves to a different. Well, first of all, we're not an assembly line.
No, we're not. No,
and we're not
definitely not.
And we
that.
deal with clients that we interact with on a personal basis, so we make sure that we keep them safe.
Yes.
You know, we're not trying to rush, get them out and get somebody else in the chair that we don't know.
We establish relationships with these people.
Right.
They've been coming to us for years.
Right.
They refer people to us.
That's it.
Like, if we're not doing a good job, nobody, most of us don't make it in this business because a lot of our clientele comes from referrals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So, okay, enough about the coronavirus. Yeah. So, taking your business beyond the chair, do you think that it's important to not just stand behind the chair and do hair? Do you think it's important to move beyond just working behind the styling chair?
I think so. Well, I can look at that a few ways.
Okay.
First of all, beyond the chair can mean your retirement. It can mean expanding your business into another facet of the hair industry. So when I look at it, I look at, first of all, retirement. Beyond the chair, what I don't see in a lot of younger stylists or barbers is I don't see the fact that they put money aside for their retirement.
Yes.
You know, if
That
you make
financial literacy.
right,
Yeah.
if you make $100 out of every $100, if you just put $10 aside, you'll have $1 million by the time you get ready to retire.
Right.
So they don't think beyond what they're doing. They feel like, oh, I'm going to be young and I know because I was that person.
Exactly.
I used to think I'll be young for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Or I'm always gonna make this type of money because I know how to do hair. So it's like, okay, this is gonna be coming to me.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have to look at your business as a business. That's what it is. And you have to put yourself in a situation where you're not always going to be young. You're not always going to be healthy. You're not. Well, I mean, you can be healthy to a certain extent, but you have to take into consideration that you will get older.
Yes.
Things change in our bodies as we get older.
Yes, they do.
And if we don't look at what we have to do to put in place our retirement, our health, our living situation,
insurance, disability,
everything.
You get into a car accident, something like that, it can change your life.
Right. So Beyond the Chair is much more than just the way that you treat your clients outside of being in the salon. I make sure that with me, I educate myself. Like I said, I educate myself aside from being a stylist or a barber. I make sure that I understand the tools I use. I make sure I understand the products I use.
Yes.
I make sure that I talk to my clients about what they're supposed to do when they're not sitting in my chair.
Yes.
I make sure that I keep myself informed on the changes, the things that are happening in the industry. Because if I don't, I'll be that dude that's hey, you remember that guy that used to do hair really good? You know, and I don't want to be that person.
Still I want to be that afros and
right. I want to be, and I don't want to be the dude that's doing the Jerry curls.
Right, Jerry
because
curls.
You say Jerry curl in a classroom right now, people look at you like, what's a Jerry curl?
Exactly.
Right. See, so with working in the salon and working in the barbershop, you have to look at yourself as a growing, moving business, a business that changes with time. As far as Beyond the Chair, like I said, you know, it does, everything goes beyond the chair when you're in the business. You know, being behind the chair is just a small aspect of your business.
Exactly, and I think that's the point that Beyond the Chair tries to make, is that just you doing hair is not going to make you a successful hairstylist, barber, esthetician, nail tech. You're going to have to do more with your business than just doing that particular aspect of it.
Right. And that's why I got into teaching. I thought about the fact that I don't really, I see myself being behind the chair for, you know, well, back when I was in my 20s, I thought I'll be behind the chair probably something about 45, 50. Then that's what I thought. Then I'll do something, you know, to expand my business, because I was in the music and to the studios and all that other stuff. But as I started doing it, I started thinking about, how am I going to feel walking behind this chair when I'm 65, 70 years old?
Right.
You know, you can walk yourself to death around that chair.
Woo.
You know? So I got into teaching, and then it opened up a whole different world. You know, and I love teaching people the things that I learned when I was younger.
And from experience.
I've been able to.
That's the best to me.
Right.
Experience.
What I've been able to do is give them salon experience as opposed to just book knowledge.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
just, okay, let's read through the book. No, I've been there, I've done this, I've seen what goes on in the salon.
Right. And that book is just a small part of it.
Man,
you know,
it
a lot
hasn't
of people,
even tapped into half of the stuff.
A lot of the students feel like, well, once I get my license and I start working, I'm gonna make this much money and do this and they don't realize you can't make people sit in your chair.
Yes.
You know, you have to learn the business side of this thing. And you have to learn how to deal with people, because guess what? If you don't like people, this business is not gonna work for you.
No, it's not.
You know, so you have to learn.
You gotta be a people person.
You have to. and it has to be genuine.
And it does.
Yes.
It does. Because people, they catch on to that too. They don't want you up in their head faking.
Right.
Faking and shaking. Okay, so state board. So we're dealing with so much when it comes to state board representing us as cosmetologists, as barbers, even with the diversity in their training, in their books and stuff like that. Right. I just want to start with that. Do you feel like there is diversity? There has been diversity towards other ethnic groups, or that we've been represented in that area when it comes to state board?
I think when it comes to more recently, I see a little bit more, even when I look in the Milady's book,
Yeah.
I see a little bit more that.
Almost like something happened.
Right. Right.
Because now they putting black people in the book.
Because you didn't
and
see
on the
braids,
cover.
you didn't see braids, weaves, all that other. You didn't see that before. So, but the problem that I see is that even though the book is changing, a lot of the steps when it comes to the learning aspect of getting your license has not changed.
Yes.
You know, so that is an issue. I think that they need to look at. First of all, I think a seasoned stylist needs to be in. Now, I don't know who's in the state board.
Woo.
But I think a seasoned stylist needs to be on the other side of that table, explaining what we need to put in the licensing, the testing.
The curriculum.
The curriculum.
Yes.
Because
standards, the policies, all of that. Mm-hmm. We need to have people that have been there.
Right. Right.
Establishing
because if
those
not,
rules.
Then we're learning things that are not
relevant.
Thank you.
At all.
And it doesn't apply to the business at hand. It just doesn't. You know what I mean? So as far as state board is concerned, I see slow changes. I see minimal changes. However, I don't think I see enough change, you know, especially when it comes to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm. And what about licensure, since we're talking about state board? Do you feel like that's important?
Yes.
Licensure? Okay.
Yes. Reason I say that is because what happens, and one thing about getting your license when it comes to a cosmetologist or a barber, you get your license, and once you get the license, you got a license. Only thing you have to do every 2 years is pay to keep it accurate, or keep it, active. But the issue is you have people who do hair now who haven't had any type of education in the past 35, 40 years.
Yes.
So they're still applying 30-year-old
techniques.
30-year-old techniques and ideas to current situations, and it doesn't always work. So what I would think, as far as licensing is concerned, and I don't know, some people might look at me with a raised eyebrow, but I think hairstylists and barbers need to
CEUs, huh?
do continued education every 2 years.
Yes.
Every 2 years, just have to take one class. Mm-hmm. Every 2 years, just to make sure, and even if not every 2 years, every 4 years. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to renew your license every year, every other year. But if you take a continued education class every 4 years or so, it kind of keeps you up to date.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And it kind of stops people from learning how to do hair on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Because, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it, because you can learn things on YouTube. However, as far as learning how to do things correctly and making sure that you keep your clients safe, that's important.
You need to learn that from a licensed professional.
You have to. I don't want anybody teaching me anything if they haven't been through what I've been through.
Exactly.
Number one.
At least a little bit.
Right. That's like having somebody teach you how to drive and they don't have a driver's license.
Right.
Or you got a doctor that teaches medical students how to do whatever procedures they need to learn how to do, but he's never done it.
And never been to medical school.
Right. So, you know, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. I agree. That and do you? It is other states that have, you know, continued ed.
Really?
When they renew their license.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they do. Washington, D.C. is one. Let's see. I want to say that Texas is one. So it's other states that have already adopted that mentality of saying that, okay, you know, even though they're licensed, they're going to need some more education behind them because things are totally changing. Things are, you know, coronavirus. We have a new virus out now.
Right.
It should be some type of continued ed on learning how to handle the coronavirus.
I believe that.
Right?
I believe that.
That's what, when we talk about continued ed, that's what we're talking about. New things that come up that now we have to adjust to.
Right.
Right? Yes. All right. So What about the integrity of the business? Trying to keep the integrity, knowing that somebody is licensed but still having them work in your salon, or working in a salon that doesn't have an establishment license, or working for state board and administer and test and you don't have a license. Just the whole integrity.
That's it. Well, just like what I was just saying. How do you give somebody something that you don't have?
Exactly.
You know, integrity is basically honesty, the trustworthiness. You know, and if you don't have what it takes, if you don't have in you what it takes to if you don't have what it takes to give a person what you want them to have, you can't administer that. No. As far as integrity in the business, I figure that we're held to a certain standard. You know, as professionals, we're held to a certain standard, and the only way to uphold that is through integrity. People have to trust us. When people sit in a chair, and when they sit in your chair and they're trusting you with their look, because honestly, I have some clients who will not even walk out the house unless their hair is done.
Wow.
That's true. You know, and they come in and see me, it look like sunglasses, scarf,
like never
hat.
left the salon.
Yeah, because you know, they just don't want people to see that they look at themselves a certain way, and
right.
this is how they want to be seen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when it comes to being a stylist, when people come in, they have to trust you. They have to trust you. They have to know that you know what you're doing. As far as integrity comes through education. It comes through knowledge of what you're doing, not guessing what you're doing.
Failure.
It comes, and well, you know what? You're gonna learn through failure.
Exactly.
The
best
that's
teacher.
Exactly.
It's the
that's
best
one of
teacher.
the easiest ways to learn is to fail. But if you're afraid to fail, then you won't learn. Chances are, if you go through cosmetology school, all of your failures will be within the realm of education.
Yes.
So
that was the whole point of cosmetology. Get on the floor, do some heads while you're on the floor, because you know, just in case you encounter this in the salon.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's primarily that. So.
Alrighty. So, what type of advice would you give an up-and-coming cosmetologist or barber?
Remember that you are not going to always feel as good as you feel right now. Remember that you're not always going to be the person that you are right now. You know, as you gain clientele, as you gain wisdom and knowledge, and your business grows, so does your responsibilities. Continue to educate yourself in the business of business, in the business of cosmetology. Continue to educate yourself in taxes.
Yes.
If you don't pay your taxes, let me tell you something. You know,
you done told me some stories about your taxes too. My God!
And I don't care to repeat them on camera.
No.
However,
but yeah.
what the thing is, I'll tell you. When I first started doing hair, I didn't pay taxes. I didn't realize it. But guess what? When I went to buy a house, and they looked at me and they said, "Well,
where you get this money from?
Where's your money coming from?" You know. I learned then that you have to be responsible. You have to do what you have to do. You know, when it comes to taxes, get a good tax person so that you don't go broke, but yet and still make sure that you put everything on paper. So when you go to buy your house, your cars, you put your kids through college, all these things, you got documentation to show.
This is the income that I've made.
Exactly.
Like Trump still ain't produced his.
Right.
Where your taxes at, Trump?
And with This business is lucrative. Hell, I bought 4 houses.
Please tell them.
I bought 4
Please
houses.
tell them
I
about
put
this
2
business.
kids.
It ain't no joke.
Right. I put 2 kids through college. You know,
Yep.
And I make sure that I take care of my household. But I do that because I take care of my business.
Exactly.
And I treat my business like a business. So when it comes to younger stylists and people that are learning the business, always make sure that you put something aside for yourself for retirement. Make sure you take care of your taxes. Make sure you got your monies together for your disability. Make sure that you take care of your business before you take care of your fun. Everything, you can make this business as fun as you want it to be, but you got to remember this business is a business.
Right.
And if you don't look at it like that, you're not going to win.
It's going to eat you up.
And nobody's going to make anybody sit in your chair. If you don't treat people the way that you want to be treated, chances are people are not going to want to sit in your chair. If you don't realize that your relationships with your client is your business, your relationship with your clients is what establishes the growth of your clientele. If you don't realize that, then you're not going to make it in this business.
Yes. Yes.
And you don't always want to listen to your clients' life story and stuff, but this is part of the business. So get to a point where you know that you're more of an asset to them than a liability.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We bring a lot to the table as people that support hairstylists and as people that provide those services as a hairstylist.
Right.
We do a lot.
Right.
When it comes to the community, when it comes to just a lot, being an effect on this society.
Right.
So Ruben, I want to thank you for coming.
My
Can
pleasure.
you give me your social media outlets? Tell me where they can find you.
Okay. My Instagram is Ruben Micheal Hair. My website is rubenmichealsalon.com. And that's primarily what I use for social media.
Okay. All right, y'all. So hit Ruben up if you want to come see him. Ladies, he does bad short hair, right?
Yeah.
Is that your specialty?
I specialize in it, yeah. I say that.
Yeah, that's one of your specialties. What's your other specialties?
Press and curls, of course.
Yes.
You know, that's a West Coast. That's a West Coast thing.
Yes,
You know what I mean? If you
we
don't-
all had to learn
Right.
that.
The thing is, you got a lot of young stylists now that don't know anything about a press and
No,
comb.
they don't.
They don't even know how to use an oven. So that's one of the things that I specialize in. Short haircuts, and I specialize in making women feel special.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard it. Go see Ruben. Thank you.